Good morning, dear. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. As it's customary to seek the blessings of Lord Almighty, so let's pray to God with folded hands and closed eyes. Bountiful God, please guide us in the right direction towards a better future. Help us to overcome our own limitations during this pandemic and grant us the steadfast love to look after each other. Dear God, grant us the courage to rebuild our creating of justice, equality, and peace for all. Amen. Dear students, December 9, that's today, is the International Anti-Corruption Day. On this special occasion, we welcome our worthy principal ma'am and Mr. Samad Pathak, Communication Officer, South Asia at UNODC. I know, dear students, now you all are much familiar to Mr. Samad Pathak. He is a former news producer at ANI Reuters, former thematic network coordinator, South Asia at UNODC. He has studied journalism at Delhi College of Arts and Commerce. At present, he is associated with UNOTC. Sir, we are immensely delighted to have you amongst us today. Dear students, as you know now that it's the Anti-Corruption Day today, so to know what is it and what it is all about, I would like to invite students of grade 11 with the work in the form of paper presentation. And to begin with, may I invite Miss Aline Kaur of grade 11. Aline Kaur, please. Start sharing your screen, bete. Aline.
Ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I am Harleen Kaur, studying in grade 11th Commerce. Power doesn't corrupt people. People corrupt power. By William Geddes. We all know about corruption, but do you know what is anti-corruption? Let me share it with you. Corruption is a kind of dishonesty or criminal offense done by an organization or an individual having power to acquire illicit benefit. Anti-corruption refers to all those activities which involve opposing this corruption. According to the UN, $2.6 trillion are stolen annually through corruption and $1 trillion is paid in bribes worldwide. The Nations Development Programme UNDP says that the funds lost to corruption are estimated at 10 times the amount of official development assistance. My dear friends, you must be wondering what you have to do with corruption. Let me tell you what you can do. Charity begins at home. As said by Vladimir Putin, those who fight corruption should be clean themselves. So firstly, we need to remove corruption from our inside, then only we can make attempts to change others. Stop bribery. Bribes are hollowing the system of our country. We should not take nor give bribes to anyone for the completion of a work. For example, in case an individual wants to complete something quickly, then he or she might offer a bribe in order to speed the process along. Join youth groups. These scripts talk about their opposition to corruption and raise awareness about its adverse effects on society. Online transactions. When we do transactions through internet, then it promotes transparency and prevents corruption. But technology alone cannot eradicate corruption. Youth need to share their knowledge with the rural population and educate them on how to use mobile banking system, online payments and transactions through apps. Vote for the right person. We must not sell our vote in return of any gift. This gives rise to corruption. To vote is our right, so we should use it efficiently. My dear friends, do you know that there is a direct link between anti-corruption and SDGs? Just to share with you, through anti-corruption, Sustainable Development Goal 16, peace, justice and strong institutions can be achieved as its target 16.5 includes substantially reducing corruption and bribery in all their forms. If we all will follow what I have shared, then definitely UNODC KNPS collaboration will help in reducing corruption. In the end, I would like to say that together, let's pledge to root out corruption. Together, let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harleen. We are waiting for Tanveer now. Tanveer, please.
Very good morning to all present here. I am Tanveer Kaur of grade 11th Humanities. I would like to begin with a quote by Joe Biden. Fighting corruption is not just good governance, it's self-defense, it's patriotism. You must be wondering, what is corruption? Corruption is a dishonest behavior by those in positions of power, such as managers or government officials. Corruption can include giving or accepting bribes, inappropriate gifts, double dealing, undercover transactions, manipulating elections, diverting funds, laundering money, and defrauding investors. We all are aware of the fact whenever we hear the word corruption, we tend to point our fingers towards the politicians and the government officials. But we should not oversee the fact that remaining four fingers are pointing towards us. I would like to share a small story during the time of King Akbar. One day, the King Akbar wanted to test whether his people are really obedient to him. According to Birbal's instructions, the king announced that and people should pour a pot in the tub. When Akbar returned from hunting, he found that there was no milk in the tub. It was only filled with water. Everyone thought that it is completely fine if they pour a pot of water, as all others would pour a pot of milk. As a result, none poured pot of milk. Akbar was disappointed. See how we people are corrupted. Even Kautilya has described 38 types of corruption in his magnum opus Arthashastra. Now the question arises, how can we be anti-corrupt? As we all know that youth are an important part for the evolution of the country. Youth are the true soldiers to build a corruption-free India as they are aware of all the technologies which can make this dream come true. Social media is a powerful weapon to fight back corruption if used in a right way. Youth should realize the importance of media to dampen the corruption trends in India. Our country is known for freedom of speech and expression. It is on us to make the best use out of it. Rather than wasting money on these malpractices, we must donate money to poor people or the NGOs who work for the needy in order to achieve development goal number one, that is poverty. Together, let's pledge to root out corruption. Let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanveer, for that beautiful story. So now I invite Ishan.
Good morning, honorable guests, worthy principal ma'am, respected teachers, and my dear friends. I'm going to present my paper on the theme anti-corruption. Corruption is a cancer that eats away at a citizen's faith in democracy, diminishes the instinct for innovation and creativity. So, guys, come, let's know about anti corruption. Corruption is one of the greatest evil that shakes the backbone of any society. Corruption is a form of dishonesty or criminal offense undertaken by a person or organization entrusted with a position of authority to acquire illicit benefit or abuse power for one's private gain. Anti corruption comprises activities that compose or inhibit corruption. Since birth, the causes for a man to become corrupt are plenty, starting from the very influence of the family and circumstances that brought him up to the enmity towards his own nation. The red tapeism and limitations of the legal framework within the country are some other major reasons that have resulted to corruption in large numbers. So friends, do you know about role of youth in anti-corruption? Corruption takes birth in a society when its citizens fail to believe that the nation is a common property of all its citizens and the generation yet to come. Every situation where you leave truth, you are giving birth to corruption, no matter how simple or how complicated is the matter. If so, you and I would have been corrupt at least once over the time. The nation belongs to its youth. They are the makers of tomorrow. What they do today will reflect in the society tomorrow. To live in a society that is corruption free, we need people with quality of mind and thoughts. If those people come forward to build a strong nation, our dream of a corruption free society is never far away. So, friends, the youth must be able to read the pulse of their nation. They must build a sense of patriotism towards their nation. Honorable guests, now I'm going to share a very important fact with all. That is, in 2004, the Republic of Georgia fired 30,000 police officers, almost the entire traffic police force, due to corruption and built class police stations to encourage an image of transparency. Since then, crime in Georgia has dropped and the public confidence in the police has risen drastically. Now it's time to link SDGs with anti-corruption. If there would be no corruption, then we'll be able to achieve these goals, which are no poverty, good health and well-being, quality education, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, peace, justice, and strong institutions. So, guys, do you all know that youth is a spark that can lighten or burn an entire nation? Together, let's pledge to root out corruption. Together, let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishan. Thank you so much for those amazing facts. Now I invite Harleen Shima, please. Harleen, you are muted, bete.
Good morning to all. I am Helene from class plus one science. If corruption is a disease, transparency is an essential part of its treatment. As said by Dr. Kalam, if country is to be corruption free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are three key societal members who can make a difference. They are the father, the mother, and the teacher. Now I'm going to share a story on corruption. One day, a common man went to a theatre to watch a movie. There was a queue of 10 people. He just scanned the queue and found the seventh person as a known person. He went to the seventh person, said hi, and stood behind him. Corruption started there. Others had not objected him. With this, he saved time taken for three people to take tickets, but three people got delayed. The next day, the common man went to the government office. He gave his file and asked how long it will take. The officer said that there were 3 files before his file. By afternoon, his work would be completed. He thought for a while and said, I have to come all the way again. Please take 100 rupees and complete my work. The officer thought for a few seconds. My work is not increasing or decreasing. I am getting extra money for doing my work. Why to lose it? After all, who knows in which order I have done my work, and agreed. The officer took 100 rupees and completed the common man's work. From then onward, every time the common man goes to government office for work, give 100 rupees and get the work done immediately. The officer got used to it, and when somebody come with urgency and request him to complete work immediately, he started demanding 100 rupees. As people understood that by paying 100 rupees, their work gets completed immediately, many people started paying. Corruption is not a uniquely Indian phenomenon. It is witnessed all over the world in developing as well as developed countries. In fact, there is hardly any sector which can be categorized for not being infected with the vices of corruption. To root out corruption from society, we all need to work together. NGOs and media should come forward to create awareness against corruption in society and educate people to end corruption. It is related with SDG goal number 4, quality education. Education is a crucial element in any attempt to effectively address the phenomena of corruption. Through quality education, students can raise their voice against corruption. Together, let's fight corruption and let's lead the way for sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harleen. So, yes, dear students, before I start with the Manjot, just one request. It's all about your future. You being the change. Stay with us and attend the whole program, please. Yes, Manjot, please.
Good morning, honorable guests, worthy principal ma'am, respected teachers, and my dear friends. The duty of youth is to challenge corruption. Anti-corruption comprise activities that oppose or inhibit corruption. Just as corruption takes many forms, anti-corruption efforts vary in scope and strategy. A general distinction between preventive and reactive measures is something drawn. Denmark is a great example of anti-corruption. Denmark is the least corrupt country in the world, according to Transparency International study of corruption perception worldwide. No bribery and an open and well-functioned public sector have placed Denmark in top of ranking since the first study in 1995. Ways to prevent from corruption. Pay zero bribes. The zero currency is a visual aid that encourages people to say no to corrupt officials who demand a bribe and to expose where and when bribes are demanded. The concept originated in India, where it was known as the Zero Rupee movement, has proved to be a formidable tactic in fighting corruption. Protest. Protest events are a way for citizens and groups to come together in public to show large-scale support for or opposition to a particular issue. Protests, marches, demonstrations, and rallies can be a powerful tool for anti-corruption campaigns. Create petitions. A petition is a collection of signatures from people supporting your cause. That petition is then presented to decision makers like government or education officials that have the power to create the change you want. Develop tax solutions. We can help communities document cases of corruption by developing reporting platforms on the web or through mobile apps. Social media, in particular case, is an effective way. Ask for election pledges. Politicians may be running for office, but they shouldn't be able to hide. During the lead up to elections, candidates are in the spotlight, and this is a good time to hold them accountable for their campaigning and election promises. Sustainable Development Goal number 16 and its targets on reducing bribery, strengthening institutions, and assessing information are not only valuable aspirations in their own right, they are also vital conditions for the achievement of all the 17 goals. So at last, I want to say, together, let's pledge to root out corruption. Together, let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manjot. May I now invite Damanpreet Kaur?
Ma'am, I'm having issue to share my screen.
Okay. So, Daman, maybe you need to wait for your turn. In the meantime, Dikshita, if you can start, please.
Good morning, everyone. I am Dikshita, studying in grade 11 Commerce. Anti Corruption Day. Corruption, please go away with your notion. Our mission is to make us a no bribe nation. So far, you made our life miserable and full of suffocation. Corruption, have you ever seen a determination? Now we are in full of action and throw you out with our inner transformation. Corruption, don't dare to enter into a nation. We all had heard the word corruption. Corruption is an act of dishonesty and a criminal offense conducted by a person or a group of people or an organization by abusing and taking advantage of their power and position of authority. This means that anything unethical done for the greed of money, which is beyond the boundaries of the legality of the land, will be termed as corruption. Corruption can be on various levels. A minister taking bribes to provide a license for a businessman, a peon taking kickbacks and bribes to let you inside a government office, a doctor taking a bribe from you to provide you with a fake medical certificate are all the different levels of corruption. One thing we should all remember is giving bribe is as bad and unethical as taking a bribe. Whether the bribe is rupees 10 or rupees 10,000 crore, doesn't matter. A bribe is a bribe. All people say that we should not pay bribes. While it is easy to say that we should not pay bribes, the ground relates to it are far from easy. My dear friends and honorable guests, imagine a situation that your loved one has severe health issues and you don't have enough money to go to a private hospital. So you have taken them to a government hospital where you are required to pay a bribe for the authorities to get your loved one admitted into the hospital. There are many laws in places such as Prevention of Corruption Act and Jan Lokpal to name a few. While laws are robust in nature, its implementation is somehow weakened. Now I want to share an interesting and shocking fact about corruption that it is estimated around 1 trillion US dollar is paid in bribes each year worldwide. Anti-corruption promotes sustainable development goal number 1, no poverty. The links between corruption and poverty affect both individuals and businesses, and they run in both directions. Poverty invites corruption, while corruption deepens poverty. A quote by Albert Einstein says that the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. Together, let's pledge to root out corruption. Together, let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dikshita. May I now invite Damanpreet again and I request the gentleman to speak for her.
Ma'am, I can now share my screen.
Okay, baby.
Good morning to one and all present here. Me, Damanpreet Kaur from Class Plus One Vocational, here to present a presentation on the Anti-Corruption Day. So, together let's pledge to root out corruption. Together let's pave to sustainable development. So, what is corruption? Corruption is a phenomenon that has flooded throughout the world. What it does is stopping the natural growth of countries or regions. That's why it's also known as all pervading circumstances and unnecessary hindrance for countries that are striving to move forward.
When there are fraudulent actions just because a person is in power, it is known as corruption. A quote says, one cannot fight corruption by fighting it. And this is entirely correct. Corruption means the act which stems from lust or greed for money and going to any and every length to get illegal tasks done. The people and the society can play. You can play a very important role in fighting the gigantic wild animal of corruption. The journal Awakening can make politicians and bureaucrats to use discretion fairly. The common men must cast their votes not on the basis of caste, creed, or party, but on the basis of values and character of the candidates. In the democracy, the actual power lies with the voters. But once a leader is elected by them, is a need to make a law to call back the corrupt leader if decided by the voters even before 5 years' term. The politicians use their affiliation and religion to woo the innocent voters in the favor. The common man must use the vote wisely in favor of honest and educated candidate to eradicate the corruption from the society. All have to fight it. It is most powerful and most dangerous, monstrous evil, which rises manyfold itself in the passage of time. So, how can you fight corruption? Many countries have anti corruption laws, but they may not have the resource to monitor and enforce those laws. That's where you can help. Brand building of anti corruption has to start from schools. Every student should utter anti corruption slogan at least once a day that gets recorded in their brain. When they see corrupt person, their mind shows the person as a bad person with a discriminatory power. Their mind won't allow them to become bad person when they grow. If every part of the society contributes in fighting corruption, soon India will be corruption free as India is polio free. Now it is time to act, not to think. December 9 is International Anti-Corruption Day, so say no to corruption. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daman, for those wonderful suggestions. May I now invite Meghna?
Good morning, everyone. We need to tell each other our stories. We need to show that everyone, our neighbors, our families, our community leaders, everyone we know is touched by corruption. Corruption is the abuse of power or position for personal gain. TI study in 2017 showed globally around one third of people considered their presidents, prime ministers, and national and local government officials, business executives, elected representatives, and police officers corrupt. Do you know that as a students we can sort out this issue because we are the unique element of society? First of all, students should think about themselves that their houses are corruption free or not, because there is one scenario in every house. Example, when a mother asks her son to buy grocery or vegetable for the first time, the son buys for her. But next time when mother requested, his son refused that. Then mother will comes with an offer that she will give him a candy if he does the work. Subsequently the boy agrees. Afterward, the boy always demand candy before the completion of any work. Now, honorable guests and my dear friends, we all come to know about that how corruption deeply connected with our lives. So stop it first, because if we want to change other, first change yourself. Students are expected to act as an agent for change and motors of anti-corruption movement in society. Students can act in various ways such as socialization activities, campaigns, seminars, or lectures. They can study the law, the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. My dear friends, do you know the thing we all love to read? Yes, comics. Comics are the powerful way for raising awareness about anti corruption. Through combining images and text, comics can also help to elaborate the issue. All we need is a pen and a paper, which are the true weapon of student. If we come forward for these activities together and work as partners to achieve our anti-corruption, this will promote the Sustainable Development Goal number 17, partnerships to achieve the goal. At the end, I just want to say that Internationally Anti-Corruption Day is observed annually on 9 December since 31st October 2003. But it doesn't mean we should celebrate December 9 as anti-corruption. We have to take initiatives all the time to make Anti-Corruption Day in a true sense. So together let's pledge to root out corruption. Together let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meghna. You rightly said that each day should be the anti-corruption day. So with this, I invite Shweta.
Good morning, Honorable Principal Ma'am, teacher of plus one science. Corruption is now a profession. It is spreading like an infection. Do you all know what is corruption? Corruption is not only about bribes. People, especially the poor, get hurt when resources are wasted. That is why it is so important to understand the different kinds of corruption to develop smart responses. Punishing corruption is a vital component of any effective anti-corruption effort. We should be honest to ourselves. Until and unless we will not be honest, we can't control corruption. If each of us is honest towards our profession, then corruption will automatically decrease. We need to pay attention towards professional accountability, that is, how much we are faithful and trustful towards our profession. Now the question arises, how corruption is spreading like a virus and how can we stop it? Corruption is initiated by the people in power and politicians. Even we people bribe government employees to fasten our work or to get out of the crime. Major cause of corruption in India is greed for money. The thirst of earning more money makes a man walk on wrong path to get their goals and become corrupt. All my dear friends, we can achieve sustainable development goal number 10, that is reduced inequality through anti-corruption. Corruption is an evil that is spreading its poison in the roots of nation. Dishonest or illegal behaviors, especially by people in position of power or authority. Just to conclude, together let's pledge to root out corruption. Together let's pave way to sustainable development. Thank you.
Wow, what a great information you all have given to us. Thank you so much, dear students, for your so impressive work. I think none of us will ever forget about the facts and incidents which you all have shared with us today. So once again, thanks a lot. Yes, we all know that art is entertaining as well as informative. And especially when it's entertaining, it can be especially effective in reaching the younger generation. Our students have taken this artistic initiative through virtual art gallery. So let's watch how their art is apt to convey a message of anti-corruption. So here we begin our virtual exhibition or to watch the virtual art gallery.
So this is a beautiful artwork of our students. The posters, the paintings made by them. You can look at them, how colorful, how attractive, how impressive the work is. Looking at the beautiful artwork of our students on anti-corruption, it's an evidence that youth is a force that can change the course of a nation in a few months, which otherwise might take years. Through these beautiful creations, we can see how well these students have read the pulse of their nation, the need of the hour, that is to root out corruption. Wow, that's the national flag. Somebody had tried to use that also. So just looking at these colorful paintings, I feel as if each poster, each painting is the voice of a young mind, which is trying to convey that I am a drop of water in the wave of change. Yes, I can hear it very clearly. So yes, very clearly they are conveying the message, say no to bribe, say no to corruption. This is to talk about how to root out corruption all around. You can see it's all conveying the message that we need to root out corruption from our society, from our country, from this world. Everywhere I can see very clearly written, say no to corruption. Yes, these posters are a powerful medium for change. These beautiful, colorful combinations. Oh my God. Look at the beautiful borders. Really, all our young artists have proved that their art is a resonant tool for a social change. They have just poured out their hearts, their minds, their emotions through these paintings, through these posters, through the anti-corruption campaign. Look at this lovely girl holding her work, artwork, a hope for a better future for all of us. Really, if our present generation, our coming generation, these students who are our future, if they are so aware to root out corruption, definitely we can hope for a better world. So yes, this picture has taken us back down to the memory lane, back to our school. So these amazing pieces of art are conveying corruption, the most evil deed of a society. Corruption is all reasons for sorrows in our lives. These posters are stressing on the need to root out corruption. You can see we have the great artists in the making. So thank you so much, dear students, all those students whose work has been exhibited through this virtual art gallery. You are a hope for a better tomorrow. Thank you so much for letting us know that art cuts across language and cultural barriers. So it's the best medium to generate anti-corruption awareness. Thank you once again. So yes, dear students, creative campaigns are a great way to engage people on anti-corruption issues, this we have just seen. So one such medium is music. So let's invite Miss Radhika of grade 11, a young rapper, to be the part of this creative campaign. Miss Radhika, please.
Kiran ma'am, we may invite Ishan. I think some challenge with Radhika.
Okay, ma'am. So next we invite Master Ishan with his rap. So Ishan, this virtual podium is all yours. Rock the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to sing my self composed rap song on International Anti Corruption Day. So, here I start. Corruption everywhere. Even in the tiny particles of air. Corruption everywhere. Even in the tiny particles of air. Corruption everywhere. Particles of air. Corruption everywhere. Particles of air. See in your surrounding and tell me what you see. What are people doing? Running behind money. This greed, let's this out. This greed, let's take this out. Power. What is this power? Which can finish a person in an hour. In an hour, it's time to take a step. Let's prep. Let's prep. We should prep. Yeah, come on. Then why is this corruption everywhere? Even in the tiny particles of air. Corruption everywhere. Particles of air. SDG. Let's follow SDG. Let's finish corruption finally. SDG. Let's follow SDG. Let's finish corruption finally. Let's follow SDG. Finish corruption finally. Corruption everywhere, even in the tiny particles of air. Corruption everywhere, even in the tiny particles of air. Let's start the war against corruption. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ishan, for that rocking performance. May we once again have Radhika. Radhika, please.
Good morning, everyone. Myself Radhika from grade plus 1 science. Today I'm gonna start with the rap song which is originally performed by Gulam. So here I go. ये उन लोगों के लिए है जो समाज में भ्रष्टाचार के आदी हो चुके हैं, जिनके लिए करप्शन बस एक आम बात है। इस गुलाम का पैगाम तुम्हारे लिए। ये मेरे ऊपर भी बीती है। सुनना है तो सुन। समय के चक्कर के तले जो रोज पिस रहा हूँ, दिल में फक्र लेके रोज 8 घंटे घिस रहा, खून पसीने की कमाई भ्रष्टाचारियों पे गवाई, भ्रष्टाचार उखाड़ने के लिए डिस रहा हूँ। माँ बाप शिक्षकों ने सिखाई थी नैतिकता, दिखती हर चीज है आज, लालच की है दिखता आक्रोश में समझ के अपनी जिम्मेदारी होश अगर बच्चा हुआ तो देखो ये वास्तविकता खामोश। देश की दोष दूसरों पे लगा के जोश सिर्फ फिल्मों में, असल में घूसम खुद खिलाते रातों के भूत हम बन चुके, जागेंगे कब जब बेच देगा भ्रष्टाचार देश मेरा ये जल। देश बिक रहा जमीन का दामन मुफ्त है, लुफ्त उठा रहे हैं चोर, इनकलाब विलुप्त है, काला क्यों है कहते इनके धन को बोल मैं लगा है इनके नोटों पे गरीब का जो रक्त है साफ कर दो जय शिक्षा कर छोटी बड़ी गली मोहल्ले का हर दफ्तर अफसर की करीना जेब बराई गिनती ना होगी तेरे कोई घर निकल भाई अपने घर रिश्वत ना दी तो कसले कमर झुकाएगा सर अब खूब लगा तू रोज दो दफ्तर के चक्कर मेरी चार दीवारी से ज्यादा लंबी इनकी गाड़ी क्यों बैठ के रिश्वत जटेंगे मैं मजदूर दिहाड़ी क्यों दाढ़ी में इनके तिनका ने डूबते देश को सहारा देश को काला कर पहने पोशाक वे गाड़ी की उजाड़ी देश की अर्थव्यवस्था भ्रष्टाचार कमीनों मैं टैक्स भरू के जेब भरू मैं ही मूर्ख अनाड़ी क्यों सबसे बेवकूफ है मिडिल क्लास आदमी जो टाइम पे टैक्स कर रहा है और बेचारा गरीब अजीब है नसीब देखो गरीब का करीब से विकास की जिम्मेदारी लूटे लालच की तरकीब तजी शर्म से तारी है निष्ठाई इनकी देश का खून से रंगी रिश्वत भी चाटे अपनी जीभ से भीख मांगने की नौबत ना आए तू इतना कष्ट कर मांगे तो उसके मुंह से तू एक कष्ट करना 1 रुपए निकलेगा ना देश बिकने मैं दूंगा कह दूंगा हर एक जन भ्रष्टाचारी को नष्ट कर भ्रष्टता को नष्ट कर भ्रष्ट के मुंह पे ये स्पष्ट करना 1 रुपए निकलेगा ना ये देश बिकने मैं दूंगा कह दूंगा हर एक भ्रष्टाचारी को नष्ट कर Stop corruption before it make our country empty. Corruption is not an individual problem. It's the nation problem. Let us stop corruption before it eats our country apart. Corruption will lead our country towards emptiness. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Radhika. You are a rock star indeed, I must say that. Okay, dear students, we have started with music. So how can dance be far behind, right? So be ready to meet KMPS young corruption fighters who are all set to show the dance moves. Can we have a young corruption warrior, please, on the screen?
Excuse me, ma'am. No audio. Tajinder, ma'am, please see.
Ma'am, just one minute.
Tajinder, ma'am, again the same issue. Earlier it was fine. It started. Please see.
Thank you so much for that beautiful dance performance. So definitely you all must have enjoyed this lovely performance. I'm sure about that. So now I invite Mr. Samaj Pathak to please share his views with us. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this. Due to a technical internet, issue at my place, I'm unable to come on camera right now. But it was a fantastic program. In fact, I have not seen a better program, to be very honest, at the school level in a very, very long time. So my congrats to all the students who participated. Now, today is, of course, the International Anti-Corruption Day. And the theme for this year is Recover with Integrity. Because, as you know, this has been the year of COVID 19, and it has impacted a lot of areas of life, be it social peace, social justice, economy, education, etc. So, this is the year of COVID 19, and now, as the world looks at building back, at recovering from COVID 19, we should recover with integrity. And whenever we talk about corruption, we must have at its heart integrity and ethical behavior. Now, one student gave a brilliant example, and I noted it down immediately as soon as she said it. It was that even small things that we do are corruption. When we try and talk about corruption or think corruption, we usually think that there is a senior official or a senior person in a position of power who is, doing something wrong, which is affecting other people, and that is corruption. But as this girl suggested, and I would like her to identify herself, she said that she gave an example of how a young boy, if the mother asks him to go and get some groceries, they may do it once, but for the second time, they get a bribe, of a toffee or a candy, and that sort of behavior also encourages corruption in future, because the person who is getting it, the boy who is getting it, may feel that for every task that he does, he should get something from someone. So a brilliant example. Who was this student who gave this example?
Meghna, please.
Okay, Meghna. So a brilliant example, very well done. So the idea is that even small things that we keep doing in our daily lives, or things that we see around us, they also promote corruption, corrupt behaviors. For example, selfishness, a lot of selfish behavior, if we, if we are following in our daily lives, it can lead to corruption in the later, in the future. So, as we build back from COVID 19, we should try and eliminate corrupt practices. And, charity begins at home, change begins at home, change begins with yourselves. So, see, if you are ever engaging in corrupt practices, even in small things, like this example, for example, if one of you says that, hey, I'll cook something for a sibling, a brother or a sister, and in return of that, if you need something done, that those sort of behaviors, whenever you make a transaction like that, it can lead to corrupt behaviors. Of course, all of us at some point of our lives have engaged in such a thing, but this is not a very healthy habit. So I'm so glad to see the artwork, the brilliant the art gallery that you created, I presume through a software. It was amazing and very well done. The raps, as always, I think Kamla Nehru Public School always does a brilliant job with rapping, music, even the presentations that you gave are very professional. So I'm highly impressed. Now, with corruption, you know, uh, we would also like you in the future, not immediately, uh, to do actually something, to actually create solutions. For example, how do you stop corruption? Is awareness the only thing that you can create? Of course, awareness is very important, but can you maybe look at creating a network of anti-corruption, students, anti-corruption youth, uh, who document corrupt practices around them. So if you see a corrupt practice happening around you, just note it down, maybe discuss it in the club that you create or a network that you create, maybe discuss this act and try and do something about it. Try to see the different legal instruments that are there. The Right to Information Act, which is a very powerful tool against corruption. So try and find out ways of how corruption can be addressed. And as I said, the change begins at home. So it has to start with your behavior. You cannot practice what you don't preach. So you have to be morally right. You have to be ethically right, and you have to have integrity. To stand up against corruption. So again, a brilliant job, and I'm very happy to see the material that was shared. Uh, uh, Ms. Dhillon, if this material could also be shared with us, or maybe shared on the KNPS Facebook page or something, we will be happy to share this further with the different UN platforms. But they were very highly impressive. So some of the artwork actually was tremendous, and the rapping, of course, was brilliant. So thank you so much for this opportunity and letting us be a part of it.
Thank you so much, sir, for those encouraging words. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you so much for all the praise and all the motivation for, I would say, the young brigade of KNPS who is all set to fight for corruption. So with this, now I would request the principal ma'am to enlighten us all. Ma'am, please.
Honorable Chief Guest of the Day, Mr. Samarth Pathak, a family to us now. Samarth, it's so nice when we collaborate with UNODC. In this collaboration, it's a win-win situation. The children learn so much. On this anti-corruption day, the children have really worked hard, and I really compliment them for their creativity which they put up in front of us. I compliment the teachers who were there behind the show, making them practice for this particular session which we had today with just 2 days in hand. Must compliment Dr. Charu Chabra, the Vice Principal Activities, who was there behind the scene working very hard. Children, you can do wonders in this world. You are actually the agents to change this world. you talked about sustainable development goals. I'm so happy and so proud that you actually connect everything, whatever we do with sustainable development goals. In fact, it is actually connected. Thank you for that. Children, it's your world. Build it the way you want it. You want a corruption free world. Please, let's put in lots of effort and make this world a corruption free world. Where there is no corruption, I'm sure there'll be lots of development. So, thank you so much, my beloved boys and girls, my great teachers, and above all, thank you so much, the chief guest of the day, who could really spare one full hour, more than that, to be with us. Yes, I just love the art gallery too. So all compliments to the art department for putting it up in this manner. We have been talking about virtual gallery, and I'm so happy these days we do have our virtual galleries in action. So keep it up, the fine arts department, and wonderful work by the students, right from from the lower classes, say second, third, up till grade 12. The children had painted and celebrated this, and these paintings have been put into the art gallery. So that's very nice. Keep it up, rappers, keep it up, the presenters. You are the future. We bank upon you for a corruption free future. So once again, back, thank you so much, Samad, for putting in this long time for our school. We love you a lot, and we love UNODC a lot. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is always a delight, and you are the inspiration. So, thank you very much for giving us these opportunities. And once again, congratulations to all students.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Principal Ma'am. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time. Thank you so much. Kamla Nehru Public
Thanks.
School is expressing all its gratitude to you, sir, for being part of this event and gracing this occasion. Thank you so much, sir. So, Principal Ma'am, just to end up the show, I would like to say that our young generation of KNPS will definitely work to root out corruption to lead to a peaceful, sustainable world. So with this, we end up the event of the day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Kama sir. Thank you so much, Principal Ma'am. It's always a pleasure to see you on the screen. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.